My girlfriend said, "Your rich friend wants me. I'm choosing financial security." I replied, "Smart business move." Then I told my friend she'd been bragging about using him for money while texting her ex. His security cameras caught her stealing jewelry to fund her double life. Now she is going to prison. I, 28 male, have always been a planner. I'm an architect. I build things meant to last based on solid foundations. I thought my relationship with Cynthia, 26, was the same. We'd been together for 3 years. We were talking about moving in, about the future. It felt stable. It felt real. My best friend since college, Jacob, 28, is the opposite of me in many ways. He inherited a significant family business, and while he's sharp and works hard, money has never been an object for him. He's generous to a fault and a little naive about people's intentions. He's been my rock, and I've been his reality check. We're a good balance. Cynthia was always a bit taken with Jacob's lifestyle. The casual weekend trips on a whim, the dinners where you don't look at the prices, the effortless access to a world I was working methodically to build a small piece of for myself. I saw her fascination, but I chalked it up to normal curiosity. A wouldn't it be nice daydream. I never thought it was a shopping list. The 3 of us hung out a lot. Last month, Jacob hosted a small get-together at his massive house. It was a normal evening, or so I thought. 2 weeks ago, on a Tuesday, Cynthia sat me down on our sofa. The one we'd spent a whole weekend picking out. She had this look on her face. Not sadness, but a kind of detached pity. It was the look you give an employee you're about to make redundant. "Ryan," she started, her voice unnervingly calm. "We need to talk about our future." I leaned in, concerned. "Okay, what's on your mind?" She took a breath and said the words that fractured my entire reality. "Jacob has feelings for me. He's made them clear, and I think I want to explore that." I just stared at her. My brain was trying to catch up. Jacob? My Jacob? It felt like a scene from a terrible play. "You want to break up with me? For my best friend?" She straightened her back, and the pity was replaced by a chilling pragmatism. "Don't make this dramatic. I'm 26. I've been with you through your late nights studying, your low-paying internship, all of it. I've paid my dues. Jacob can offer me a life right now that you might not be able to give me for another 20 years. If ever." I felt a cold wave wash over me, extinguishing any heat of anger. It was so transactional. "So this is a financial decision," I said. It wasn't a question. She nodded as if I'd finally understood a complex business proposal. "I'm choosing financial security, Ryan. I'm choosing a future where I don't have to worry. I love you, in my own way, but love doesn't pay for the things I want in life." My heart should have shattered. It should have been a screaming, crying, plate-throwing moment, but her absolute lack of emotion just flipped a switch in my head. The architect took over. The foundation was compromised. The structure was condemned. Time for a controlled demolition. I looked at her, held her gaze, and gave her a small, tight smile. "Smart business move, Cynthia. I wish you the best in your new venture." Her jaw tightened. That wasn't the reaction she wanted. She wanted a fight, tears, begging. She wanted to be the one who got away, the prize Jacob had won. My calm acceptance was an insult to the value of what she was discarding. She stood up, huffed, and left. I didn't do anything for the first few days. I just existed in the silence, which was deafening. But I kept seeing her ghost everywhere, and with it, a nagging suspicion. She'd been so cagey with her phone for months. The name Jason would pop up and she'd swipe it away. "An old friend," she'd said. I trusted her. On Friday night, after too much whiskey, I picked up the shared tablet we used for movies. My thumb hovered over her messenger app. I felt sick, but I had to know. I opened it, still logged in, and there it was. A full-blown conversation with her ex. "Cynthia, he's finally taking the bait, the rich one." "So you're really doing it?" "He's so easy. He thinks I'm fascinated by his business insights. LMAO. I told Ryan tonight. He'll be out of the picture soon." "And what about us?" "Baby, you know you're the one. This is just a means to an end. Once I'm settled, we can have the life we want. No more worrying about your debts." "I'll handle it. I just need you to be patient and discreet." The whiskey turned to acid in my stomach. She wasn't just a gold digger. She was a parasite, planning to latch on to my best friend to feed another man. This was no longer just about my broken heart. It was about protecting Jacob. I took screenshots, logged out, and fell into a troubled sleep. I know I have to tell him. I just don't know how. He's not going to believe me. Update 1. It's been one of the worst weeks of my life. I feel like I've lost everything. I spent the weekend in a haze, wrestling with what to do. Every time I picked up the phone to call Jacob, I'd put it down again. What if he didn't believe me? What if he thought I was just a jealous ex? I was about to ruin his happiness, and maybe my oldest friendship along with it. The screenshots felt like a grenade in my pocket. What finally pushed me was a post on social media. One of our mutual friends posted a picture from a fancy brunch. There they were, Jacob and Cynthia, beaming. She was wearing a delicate gold bracelet I'd never seen before. The caption was full of hearts and talk of a perfect new beginning. Seeing her smile, knowing it was funded by a lie and that Jacob was just a mark, made me physically ill. I called him and asked to meet. He sounded so happy. It was gut-wrenching. We met for a beer. The moment I sat down, he could tell something was wrong. I stumbled through it, trying to explain as gently as I could before finally just showing him the screenshots on my phone. The result was worse than I imagined. He read them, his face hardening, but not in the way I expected. He looked at me, not her, with pure disbelief and anger. "Are you serious, Ryan?" he said, his voice low. "You come to me with this? You're screenshotting things from a tablet because you can't handle that she chose me?" "Jacob, look at what she's saying. She's playing you." "Or you're playing me," he shot back, his voice rising. "This is insane. You're my best friend. You're supposed to be happy for me if I find someone. Instead, you bring me this garbage. It's pathetic." He didn't believe me, not one bit. He saw it as a desperate, vindictive act. He paid for the beers, stood up, and looked down at me. "I think we need some space. Don't call me." He walked out. I just sat there. In the span of a week, I'd lost my girlfriend and now my best friend. I went home and deleted the screenshots. I'd done what I thought was right, and it had blown up in my face. It was over. I had to just let it go and let him get burned. There was nothing more I could do. Update 2. The last month has been a special kind of hell. Complete radio silence from Jacob. I saw him once from across the street, and he turned and walked the other way. Mutual friends stopped calling. I was officially the bad guy, the bitter ex who couldn't let go. I focused on work, putting in 12-hour days just to keep my mind from replaying that horrible conversation at the bar. I was starting to accept that my friendship with Jacob was a casualty of Cynthia's war. Then, last night my phone rang. The screen said Jacob. My heart hammered in my chest. I answered. "Hello?" His voice was hollow, empty. "Ryan, can you talk?" "Yeah, what's up?" There was a long pause, then a shaky breath. "You were right, about everything. God, you were so right, and I was such an idiot." He told me what had happened. His mother's 60th birthday was coming up, and she'd asked if she could wear the sapphire necklace his late grandmother had left her. A family heirloom he kept in a safe box in his home office. He'd told her, of course. He went to the office to get it, and the velvet box was empty. His first thought was panic. He thought he'd been robbed. He and his family's head of security started doing a full inventory of valuables for an insurance claim. That's when they found more things missing. A Patek Philippe watch he only wore on special occasions. A pair of diamond cufflinks, small, extremely high-value items whose absence wouldn't be noticed immediately. His security guy, a former police detective, suggested they review the internal security footage. The system was installed years ago after a staff member was caught stealing. Jacob said he never even looked at it. They spent a full day going back through weeks of footage. And there it was. Not a stranger, not a cleaner. It was Cynthia, on multiple occasions. The footage was sickeningly clear. Her waiting until Jacob was outside on a call, slipping into the office, opening the drawer with a confident familiarity. Taking the necklace. Another day, her pocketing the cufflinks from a valet tray in his closet. It was methodical, cold. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was robbing me blind the entire time she was telling me she loved me, Jacob said, his voice cracking. Every time she came over, while I was cooking her dinner, she was stealing from me. He apologized over and over. For not believing me. For being a fool. I told him not to worry about it, that I understood. He was in love. Or he thought he was. He said he hadn't confronted her. His lawyer has all the evidence, the authenticated video files, the list of stolen items with certified appraisals valuing them at well over $50,000, and my original story as context for motive. They filed a police report this morning. This is out of our hands now. Update 3. Things have moved, but slowly, and it's been uglier than I could have imagined. The police took about a week to review the evidence before they moved. They arrested Cynthia at her apartment. From what I heard, it was a quiet, humiliating affair. Then the war started. Cynthia's parents bailed her out and hired a notoriously aggressive defense attorney. Their strategy is simple: scorched earth. They are painting Jacob as a vindictive, controlling ex-boyfriend and me as his jealous co-conspirator. The smear campaign has been brutal. Anonymous accounts on social media accusing Jacob of being abusive. Her parents calling up distant relatives and old family friends to spin a tale of a young woman being framed by a powerful family after she tried to leave an unhealthy relationship. It's disgusting, but it's effective. I've lost a few more friends who believe there must be some truth to the story. The stress has been immense. I've had trouble sleeping, and my work has suffered. This is the real cost of her actions, the shrapnel that hits everyone else. The police questioned Jason. His loyalty lasted about 5 seconds under legal pressure. His lawyer negotiated a deal. He pleads guilty to a misdemeanor for receiving stolen property, the watch Jacob identified, and gets probation, and in return, he provides full testimony against Cynthia. He gave them everything. Cynthia's lawyer has been a nightmare for Jacob, filing motion after motion to get the video evidence suppressed, trying to bury him in paperwork. Their official story is that the items were lavish gifts from a love-bombing Jacob. And this is all a misunderstanding. The videos of her sneaking into his office and pocketing things make that a hard sell, but it doesn't stop them from trying to create doubt and drag out the process. It's not about winning in court. It's about inflicting as much pain and expense as possible to force Jacob to drop the charges. He's not budging. If anything, their disgusting tactics have made him more resolute. Final update. It's finally over. The whole process took nearly a year of my life. The trial date was set for last month. Cynthia's lawyer's pretrial motions were all denied by the judge. The evidence was just too strong. The combination of the crystal-clear video, the detailed financial appraisals of the stolen items, and the testimony of her supposed true love, Jason, created an airtight case for the prosecution. On the eve of the trial, facing a potential sentence of 5 to 7 years if convicted by a jury, Cynthia finally buckled. She accepted the DA's final plea offer. I went with Jacob to the sentencing hearing. It wasn't for a victory lap. It was to close the book. Cynthia stood before the judge, a shadow of the arrogant woman who had coolly dismantled my life. Her parents sat in the front row, looking broken and defeated. She pleaded guilty to 1 count of grand larceny. The judge made it clear he was not impressed by her or her lawyer's tactics during the pretrial phase. He spoke about the predatory nature of the crime, a deep personal violation of trust that went far beyond simple theft. Her sentence, 18 months in a minimum security state facility, followed by 3 years of supervised probation. She is also required to pay full restitution for the items that were not recovered, totaling around $22,000. Her parents looked like they were going to collapse. As the bailiff led her away, I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel triumphant revenge. I just felt tired. An immense bone-deep exhaustion. Jacob and I went for a drink afterward, back at the same bar where he'd called me a pathetic liar. He raised his glass. To foundations, he said, the ones that hold. We drank to that. Our friendship survived, but it's different. It's stronger, but it's tempered by a shared trauma. The experience has changed me. I'm more cynical, more guarded. My work is my sanctuary, a place where logic and integrity still mean something. I look at people differently now. I see the calculations behind the smiles. Cynthia didn't just steal jewelry. She stole a part of my ability to trust, and that's a scar that doesn't fade. Justice was served, I suppose, but it feels less like a victory and more like the end of a long, painful, and necessary demolition project. The site is clear, but I'm not sure I'm ready to build anything new on it just yet.